All right, so I'm going to walk you guys through this practice final. Now, I'm going to go a little bit fast. So you should probably try to get maybe a couple problems done and then just check the answer, do another couple problems, check the answer. Definitely do not copy me because then you're not getting the practice. You actually want to make sure that you understand this. So give yourself some time to do maybe page by page or a couple problems. Okay, so here we go. So first one, looking at the pattern, I can see that it is decreasing by 3. So if I decrease by 3, that means that this is 4. Here, I can see that it looks like it's increasing by 5. And again, you just want to check a couple terms to make sure that that is correct. And so then that missing term is 36. This one's a little bit weird. Take a minute, kind of look at the pattern, see what it's going to do. And so this one would be over there. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings, 4 rings. This would have 5 rings. All right. And I can't draw 4. I'll squeeze 1 in the middle. Okay, that's 5 rings. See, my drawings are bad. Okay, this one says, Ruben earns $15 an hour. How much will he earn if he works 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? So after 1 hour, he has 15. After another hour, he has another 15. So I can easily see that it's growing by 15 every time. All right. This next one is actually pretty confusing. So it says every Sunday your parents give you $20. Okay, so Sunday they give you $20. And then you spend $12 on a Saturday. So here you have $20. Next Saturday comes around and you spent $12. So now you have $8. Then Sunday comes around and your parents give you $20. So now you have $28. And then Saturday comes around and you subtract $12. And then Sunday comes around and you add $20. And there you go. And there's your pattern. All right, let's see. Definitely discrete are the dots. It is definitely has the shape of a line. It doesn't have to be a line, but it is definitely a linear graph. It is definitely decreasing. If you were to write your name on that, that is only decreasing. And if you were to draw a vertical line through any part of that graph, it would only intersect at one point. So that is a function. The next one, you guys are good with these, it's just vocabulary. So this is definitely continuous. This is nonlinear. This is going up and down. If this were a roller coaster, you would be going up and down, both increasing and decreasing. If you were to draw a vertical line through any part of the graph, it would only intersect at one point. It is a function. This one's kind of hard to see, the graph overlap. So this is discrete. It is non-linear. It is both increasing and decreasing. If this was a roller coaster, you'd be going down and up. So both increasing and decreasing. And if you were to draw a vertical line through any part of that graph, it would only intersect at one point. It is a function. Okay, same thing. Let's see. Okay, these are just dots right here. So those are discrete. They actually are in the shape of a line, even though it's horizontal. It is neither increasing or decreasing because it isn't going up or down. So it's a zero slope line. And again, if you were to draw a vertical line through any part of those points, it would only intersect at one point. So it is a function. Okay, input-output table. If you were to list the ordered pairs, it is so again, 4, 8, 8, 12, this is like your X, this is like your Y, just list the pairs. Tell whether it's a function. For every input, there's one output, and because every input has another output, it is a function. If you weren't sure, you could actually plot these points on a number line or on a graph and kind of see, oh, over 4, up 8, over 8, up 12, over 12, 16, over 16, up 20. You could see that they're not gonna If you were to draw a vertical line, it would only intersect at one point. All right, but there's other rules for that. All right, so for the next ones, it's kind of hard. You have to match these to this, so it's hard to flip back and forth. So I recopied it so I can see these. It says, match the following scenarios to the appropriate graph on the next page. Not all the graphs will have a match. All right. So the number of supervisors for the first 9 school events. The number of supervisors for the first 9 school events. So there are 9 events. So it's probably going to be this one. So there could be, oh, on the first event, maybe there were 3 supervisors. On the second event, maybe there were 2. So this is going to be number 9. A car's speed for the first 9 seconds as it goes from a parked position exiting the parking lot. Now this is really important. If a car is parked, what's its speed? 0. So it's something that is starting at 0. Oh yeah, this one looks like it is. A car's speed. Yeah, so it starts going and then it accelerates. So slowly. So this is going to be E. You will start with 6 gallons of water in a bucket and it's leaking. Because it's leaking, you know that it's going to be going down. So you start with 6. Okay, that's got to be. Start with 6 and then it's leaking. So that's going down. That's going to be B. You are breeding rabbits for FFA. At the end of the first year, you have 1 pair of rabbits. So at the end of the first year, you have 1 pair of rabbits. And every consecutive year for the next 3 years, you add 2 pairs of rabbits. So the second year, you would have 3. And the third year, you would have 5. So I'm looking for something that has 1, 1. Yep, so it looks like it is this one. So 12 is A. All right, let's see. 13. A rule that makes all the numbers positive for every input, there's an positive output. That's actually the absolute value graph, which is this one. So if it was like -1, it makes it positive. So that is F. Okay, so I went back and added those on the other. All right, so here we're just going to solve. So distributive property. Subtract 32 from both sides. And then divide by 4. On this one, you actually could have divided by 4 first, and then you would have had x plus 8 equals 25, and then subtract 8, and x is still equal to 17. So you could have done it 2 ways. Let me show you that. So you could have divided by 4 just because it goes in evenly. If it didn't go in evenly, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just distributed and then. Okay. Next one, same thing, distributive property, or you could still divide by 5. I'm just going to go ahead and distribute it. Again, if you had done it the other way, and X, I know my writing got messy. So this one, so on this one, I'm not going to divide by 5 because it doesn't go evenly into those. So I'm actually definitely going to have to distribute it property that. Subtract 2x from both sides. Add 5 to both sides. divided by 3. X is equal to 7. All right, this one, definitely distributive property to the both sides. So you're going to have 4x minus 20, negative 3x, positive 21, because it is negative 3 times a negative 7. So you want to make sure you get your signs. Add 3. You could subtract 4x. I just added 3x to keep my x's positive. It doesn't really matter. 7x minus 20 equals 21. Add 20. X is equal to 41 over 7. Now that's your answer, but you have to be careful because on the test, I'm not going to have 40. It'll be multiple choice, and you won't have 41 over 7 as an answer. I'm going to reduce it to X is equal to 7, 5, and 6 sevenths. Okay, 7 goes into 41 5 times. That's 35, and how many are left over? 6, so 6 sevenths. So this is how you'll see it on your multiple choice test. Next problem. Okay, 2 catering companies will host a children's sports banquet company. So company A charges a fixed fee of $50 plus $8 per person. Company B charges a fixed amount of $150, but they're charging $3 per person. Which company would you use for 100 people? Let me get a different color pen. Okay, so for this one, if 100 people go, this is going to be 8 times 100. So that's going to be 800 plus 50. They're going to charge me 850. For this one, if 100 people go, 100 times 3 is 300. So 300 plus your 150 is going to be 450. So where should you go? Company B. Charges less. And you actually want to write a whole answer. Company B would charge you less for 100 people. Okay. Delia is going to a gym. She's going to Get Fit Gym that charges $20 per month and a $99 initial setup fee. Work It Out charges $30 per month plus a $50 initial setup fee, which would cost you less if you only plan on being a member for 4 months. Well, if you're only going to be a member for 4 months, so this is going to be 20 times 4, that's $80. 80 plus that 99 is $179. Here, if you go for 4 months, that's 30 times $4, 120. 120 plus 50. Oops, let me get my phone. Okay, so 170 charges a little bit less, so it's definitely better to go to Work It Out. All right, you save some money. Next one, let's see. You need to choose a shipping company. Well, actually, before I even read the question, I always like to look at the graph. Okay, so it looks like this is weight in pounds, and this is the shipping and cost. Okay, got it. So for some package, this is how much they're going to charge you for how heavy it is. So there looks like there's 2 companies, Speedy Delivery and ShipFast. You need to choose a shipping company. ShipFast charges $2 per package plus $1. Speedy Delivery charges $3 per package plus 50 cents. The graph of the equation. So that's a lot of information, but they already gave you the graph. So all of that information is in here. So you can answer the question based on the graph. If you didn't have the graph, you would need to come up with an equation. But they gave you the graph that matches this, so you're going to use the graph to answer the question. The graph of the equation that represents this situation is shown. For what package price do both companies charge the same price? For what package, what's the weight? For what weight do both companies charge the same price? Okay, the same is going to be where they intersect. So for what package weight? So if something weighs 2 pounds, the shipping cost is $4. You have to be careful because on a multiple choice test, they'll try to confuse you, and sometimes they'll ask for the weight or for the shipping. So your answer could either be 2 or 4. So this is 2 pounds, $4. So what's your answer? Is it 2 or is it the 4? Right, the package weight is 2 pounds. 21. Malia is buying a fabric to make her Halloween costume for the same materials. Okay, so again, let's look at the graph. So this is saying, all right, I have a length and charge in dollars, length in yards. So for some material in yards, this is the size of the material. This is, again, how much they're going to charge me, and there's 2 companies. So right, charges for... Okay, same thing. They give you all the information, but we're going to just use the graph to answer the question. The graph of the equation that represents the situation is shown. Which store should Malia buy the fabric from if she's buying 5 yards of material? Okay, so Malia knows that she's going to buy 5 yards of material. Well, 5 yards of material for Sew Right would charge you about $24, a little bit more. Stitch Plus is going to be a lot more, so she should buy it from Sew Right is going to be cheaper. You know, it's about like $24 is cheaper. Okay, identify the x and the y intercepts. Be careful with this one. The x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. So the x-intercept is at 3, 0. And be careful because on a multiple choice test, sometimes they say, oh, the answer is 3, or sometimes they'll say 0, 3 to confuse you, but it's always your x number and then your y number. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis, so that is at 0, -1. And again, you have a number for your y, okay, a number for your x. So if you're trying to find the x-intercept, that's a number. If you're trying to find the y-intercept, that's your number, and the other one is 0. Unless it crosses the origin, then it's weird. Okay, same thing here. This is your x-intercept. X-intercept, whoa. This is the x-axis. So this is the x-intercept. Going too fast. Your x-intercept is at -5, 0. This is your y-intercept. And your y-intercept is at 2. So that's 0, 2. Crossing the x-axis at -4. So your x-intercept is -4, 0. Your y-intercept is at -2, 0. 0, -2. So be careful when you actually take your real test that you go slow. Sometimes when you think problems are easy, that's when you make the most mistakes because you're like, oh, it's so fast. And, oh, this was problem 24. Right there. Okay, so from the graph, it's easy to see what the x and y intercepts. It's wherever it crosses the x-axis or the y-axis. Same exact question. Find the y-intercept if you're given the equation. Well, if you want to find the y-intercept, you're going to plug in 0 for x. So this is going to be 3 times 0. So this 3 times 0 goes away. You're left with 6y equals -12. Divide by 6. Y equals -2. So your answer is, again, it'll be multiple choice on your test, but it'll either be y equals -2 or it's going to be the point 0, -2. If possible, state the y-intercept from this. Well, if you're trying to find the y, oh, this is the same problem. If you're going to find the y-intercept, you're going to plug in 0. So this is going to be 5 times 0 minus y equals -20. Negative y equals -20. Y equals 20. So your answer is going to be y equals 20, or it could be 0, 20. Oh, you guys didn't see any of that. There you go. Take a minute to copy that down. Okay, problem 27. State the y-intercept. The y-intercept, again, we're going to plug in 0 for x. So to find the y-intercept, plug in 0 for x. Let me get a smaller pen. Oh. And this is going to be a long video because we're plugging, doing all of it. So you can pause, take a break, come back for it. Again, don't copy this. Try to work, do one page and come back to it, or just, watch it until you get started and then come back and check your answer. So here we're going to plug in 0 for x. So this is 10 times 0 equals 2y minus 12. 10 times 0 is 0. I'm solving it for y, so I have to move this over to the other side. Divide by 2. So y is equal to 6. That means that your y-intercept is at 0, positive 6. Okay, 28. Write an equation for this one. Equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. And again, excuse the messy writing. I hurt my finger and it actually hurts to write. Okay, the slope is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So what you need for this is you need to know your slope. Your slope is positive because if you write your name on it, your name would be going up. So your equation is y equals 2/5 x plus your y-intercept, which is 2. You have to know this one. This is a definitely an equation that you would have to know for next year. Write an equation for the linear graph. So this one, same thing. 1, 2, 2, 4. This one, if you write your name on it, it's going down. So that means that this has a negative. So your slope equation, y equals mx plus b. Y equals negative, it's rise over run, so it's 2 over 4 minus 2. Don't forget the x. That's good. That's correct. That's not going to show up on your test, even though that's correct. They're going to reduce that. So get in the habit of reducing it. So y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2. So if you're on the test and you're like, oh, I don't know what I did wrong, go back and make sure you reduced, because that is correct, but that wouldn't be one of the answer choices. Make sure you reduce. Slope-intercept form says, oh, just rewrite it in the form y equals mx plus b. So this just means solve for y. So you minus 2x from both sides. So then you have y equals negative 8 minus 2x. Usually you don't see it that way. You see it more like in slope-intercept form. So this is going to be y equals negative 2x plus negative 8, or just the minus 8. Okay. Write in slope-intercept form just means solve it for y. So you're just going to add 8. 8x and negative 12 do not combine. So you keep the 4y equals, I'm going to just rewrite it as 8x minus 12. Last thing you're going to do is you're going to divide by 4, but be careful. When you divide by 4, it goes under every single term. So then you get y equals 2x minus 3. Solve this for y, so same thing. Get rid of that 3x, minus 3x to both sides. 5y cancels, equals negative 3x plus 9. Divide by 5. And again, it goes under every single term. Reduces, so y equals negative 3/5 x plus 9/5. You could have written it as 1 4/5 or 9/5, that's fine. Solve the equation for y. This one, same thing. Oh, actually, y is already by itself, so we're just going to divide everything by 7. That's it. Oh, wait. What's the problem? This is a y. So what you have to do first is combine your y's together. That's like a trick problem. So minus 3y to both sides. Get 4y equals 8. Divide both sides by 4. Y is equal to 2. Oops, missed part of that. Okay, let me do that one again. So you have a y and a y. You don't have y and x. So you have to get all your y's together, combine your like terms. So subtract 3y to both sides. 4y equals 8. Solving for y, divide by 4. Divide by 4 on both sides. So y is just equal to 2. All right, hang in there. Graphing, you definitely better know these. They expect that you'll know them. So this is y equals mx plus b. This is your slope, and this is your y-intercept. Where do you go? You start at -4. Your slope is up 3 over 5. So it is up 3 and right 5. So right 3, up 5. And then you want to do that a couple times. Up 1, 2, 3. Something like that. And you can also go down 3, left 5 in the other way. All right, something like that. There you go. Use a ruler, draw a straight line. This one. So this is going to say, because it's negative, it's down 1. I'll just write 1. Down 1 and right 3. The negative just tells you if you're going up or down. And this is where you start. Your starting is at -2. So this is down 1, right 3. Down 1, right 3. Down 1, right 3. Up 1, back 3. Okay. And again, take a ruler, draw a straight line. This one students get confused with all the time. Okay, this is, where's your starting point? There is no number there, so your starting point is 0. B is equal to 0. What's your slope? Your slope is, do this one. Okay, your slope is -1. But how does a -1 move you? Oh, that is down 1, right 1. So we start here and we go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. And you can go in the other direction. So this one, your slope is 4, your y-intercept is 1, so we're starting at 1. How does the slope of 4 move you? Oh, that is telling you that you go up 4 and right 1. There's always a 1 under there if there's no number. So up 4. Squares are small. Go down 4 and left 1. Okay. The more points you plot, the nicer your graph is, but you actually only really need a minimum of 2 points. All right, next one, here we go. Ernesto earns $9.25 per hour. Write an algebraic equation that shows the amount of money he earns in n number of hours. So if he earns $9.25 per hour, 925 times the number of hours he works, and they use the letter n, is equal to the money that he makes. So E equals 9.25 n. Julio is ordering a submarine sandwich from the corner deli. The deli charges $6.25 for a 7-inch sub. Some additional toppings cost extra. And so Julio sandwich with 2 extra toppings costs $7.75. What is the cost per additional toppings? Right, did you guys do this one or think about it? Okay, let's read it again. They charge $6.25, but he paid $7.75. Why did he pay $7.75? Oh, because he got 2 extra toppings. But a regular one costs $6.25. So if he had not gotten those 2 toppings, he would have paid $6.25. So we want to find the difference between $7.75 and $6.25. So what's that difference? Okay. So he paid $1.50 more for his 2 extra toppings. What's the cost per additional toppings? Well, if he paid $1.50, 150 extra for 2 toppings. If he paid $1.50 for 2 toppings, how much was each topping? How would you figure that out? Good. So how much did he pay for each topping? 75 cents per topping. Okay, so remember, you always have to make sense of your problem before you answer it. And there's always more than one way to answer it. Writing a linear equation. Linear equation is y equals mx plus b. This says, write a linear equation. Your new puppy weighs 8 pounds, and gains half a pound every month. So his starting weight is 8 and he gains half a pound every month. That's the slope. So y equals 1/2 x plus 8. What is the weight in 11 months? Well, in 11 months, he's going to weigh. So you could plug it in or just think about it. So half of 11 is 5.5. So it's going to be 8 plus the 11.5. So y equals half of 11 plus his 8 pounds that he already gained. Half of 11 is 5.5 plus the 8, 13.5 pounds. Okay. And wordy problems should have wordy answers. So for this next problem, I'll just go through here. It says, create a graph that models the following situation, then solve. Your savings account had a balance of $2,525. On your summer vacation, you plan to spend $80 per week. Write a linear equation that models this problem. What's the balance after your 8-week summer? Okay, so I kind of came up with this idea. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the number of weeks. It's up to about 2,525. So maybe make your scale. I did it by 100. You can, or by 500. You could do whatever. Label these. These are the number of weeks. This is the account balance. Really important that you label your X and Y axis. What's your equation? So your equation is y equals, you could actually have written this as y equals negative 80x plus 5,025. That's fine. So, and then figured it out. Y equals negative 80x plus, I wrote too big. I'm writing this on paper. Oh, you can't see that. So y equals negative 80x plus 2,525. Plug in 8 into right there to figure it out. So you spend $640. So you're left with $1,885. Number 39 says, create a table of values in an equation to model a situation, then solve. You decide to plant some ferns in your yard. The ferns you bought are 5 inches tall. So in the beginning, I should have put a 0. In the beginning, 0, there's 5. They told you that with proper care, it would grow 2 inches every month. Write a linear equation that models how tall will your fern be in 1 year. This is kind of a trick question because 1 year would be how many months? Because this is in months, so it's 12. So this is going to be 2 times 12 is 24 plus the 5 is 29. Okay. And I did this one kind of fast. So if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video, copy that down. All right, number 40. Number 40 says, write an equation of a line with a slope-intercept form that has a slope of 5 and passes through the point 1,6. These are really important problems that you know how to do. So general equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. Slope is your m and it passes through this point. That's your x and your y. So you're just going to plug this in. So your y value is 6 equals m 5. Your x value was 1. What's your b value? We don't know. So that's your variable. Clean this up. 6 equals 5 plus b minus 5 from both sides. And you get 1 is equal to b. answer is going to be y equals your slope, which is 5x plus 1. Same problem, write an equation of line slope-intercept form that has a slope of -2 and passes through the point 2, -3. So just more practice. General equation is y equals mx plus b. Your slope is -2, your x-coordinate and your y-coordinate. Be careful with your numbers. So y is -3 equals your m, -2. X is 2 plus b. Clean it up. -3 equals -4 plus b. Solve, add 4 to both sides. 1 is equal to b. So your final equation is going to be y equals your slope. They already told you that was -2. Put an x next to it to identify your slope, and then plus 1. All right, next one. Write an equation that passes through the points 211 and 523. Same thing, y equals mx plus b. How is this problem different from this? They didn't give you the slope. So the very first thing you have to do is find the slope. How do you find the slope? That is the difference in your y values over the difference in your x values, or the rise over run. So this is going to be 11 minus 23. Or you could do 23 minus 11, same thing. Let's just go, 23 minus 11 over 5 minus 2. That means that your m is 4, and now you pick a point. Which point do you think would be easier to use, the 523 or the 211? You can actually use either point. Definitely 211 is going to be a little bit easier. So then we go to our y value is 11, our slope was 4, our x value was 2, plus b is what we're trying to solve for. Do the math. Final answer is going to be y equals your slope 4x minus 3, plus 3. All right, next one. Same problem as this. So first thing we're going to do is find the slope. So equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. Difference in your y values over the difference in your x values. So this is going to be 3 minus 1 over 9 minus 6, 2/3. And you're going to pick a point. It doesn't really matter. Let's just go with 6 and 1. So your equation is y equals mx plus b. Y value is 1. Slope is 2/3. X value is 6 plus b. Clean this up and be careful. 2/3 of 6 is the same thing as 2/3 times 6 over 1. You can cross cancel this, so 3 goes into 6 twice. Let me just rewrite this again. Three goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. So now you have 1 is equal to 2 times 2 is 4 over 1, which is just 4, minus 4 from both sides. So y is equal to your slope, 2/3 x minus 3. Oops, am I off the... Take a minute, copy that down. Okay, not bad. All right, this next one, you guys actually like these. These are solve the linear system, and this is actually elimination. You have graphing, you have substitution. I can't spell. Elimination method. Line them up. Line up your x's, y's, and numbers. So 3x eliminated equals 6 divided by 3. X is equal to 2. I'm not done. Okay, when you're doing these problems, remember, you are solving for x and you're solving for y also, because this is two lines and you want to find their point of intersection. So you need that point, the x and the y coordinate. So you pick an equation to plug it in, doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and pick the top one. So 2x plus y equals 4. If x is 2, where do you plug it in? Yeah, you plug it in for your x. If you plugged it into the other equation, it still works. Okay, y is equal to 0. Running out of room. Well, if y is equal to 0, that means that your answer is the coordinate 2, 0. Good. I personally think that out of all of these are the problems that are the hardest ones. Okay, solve a linear system. Now this one's a little bit harder because if I add, nothing cancels. So I actually have to change this problem and I have to multiply this one by, let's multiply this one by 3. If I multiply this top equation by 3, I get 9x minus 3y equals 12. The second equation stays exactly the same. Well, it turns out that everything cancels. If 0 equals 0, when will 0 equal 0? Always. This is a true statement. Because that is a true statement, this means that this has infinite solutions. All right, next one, same problem, nothing is canceled. So I either have to eliminate my x's or my y's. What should I pick? I'm going to pick the x's. If this is a 3 here, what number would I want right there? A -3. So I'm going to multiply this whole top thing by -3. So that gives me -3x minus 21y equals -36. Check my signs, make sure I didn't make any mistakes. Copy this one exactly the same. Do the math, so that cancels. You're left with -26y equals -26. Divide by -26. Y is equal to +1. If y is equal to +1, got to plug it back in. Which equation should I pick? I'll just pick the top one. If y is 1, where do you plug it in for y? Good. X plus 7 times 1 equals 12. Seven, so 5. So your answer is your x and then your y. Oops, you guys can't see. That's a 5. All right. Okay, the last one. So these are all elimination. This one is substitution. In substitution, you In substitution method, you take one and you plug it in for the other one. Well, here, this is solved for y. So where are you going to plug this one in? Yeah, you're going to substitute it in right there. So your new equation is 4x plus 3. Instead of the y, you're plugging this whole thing in. 2x plus 7 equals 31. There is only one variable here, x's. If you had x's and y's, you did it wrong. You should only have x's or only have y's. Do the math, clean it up. So this is 4x plus distributive property here. Combine your like terms. 4x and 6x is 10x minus 21 from both sides. So then you have 10x equals 10, divide by x, divide by 10. X is equal to 1. Well, if x is equal to 1, now what do you do? Yeah, plug it in. Which is a good equation to plug it in? The y equals 2x plus 7. So y equals 2x plus 7. Where do you plug it in? For x. Okay, your answer is the ordered pair, x and y. So 1, 3. And be careful, because if on the test, I'll put all the answers that might confuse you, like 3, 1. And it's like, no, it's your x and then your y. So just make sure that you're being careful with this. All right, a sightseeing boat chart. Oh, I didn't leave any room right there. 48. Okay, a sightseeing boat charges $5 for children and $8 for a boat. On its first day, on its first trip of the day, it collected $4.39 for 71. How many children and how many adults were there? All right, so this is actually a system, but I'm not going to have enough room, so I'm going to do this on a scrap sheet of paper. So a sightseeing boat charges $5 for children. This is a good problem. Okay, you have children and adults. So you have adults plus children on this trip. How many adults and children do you have total? 71. Of the adults, they charge $8. So $8 times however many adults are there. And for the children, they charge $5 times however many children are there. And that's going to give them a total of however much money. So this one you have people and money. Those are your two systems, and then you have to solve this. Now, solving this, you probably want to change it's a system, so you could solve use substitution or elimination. I'm just going to go ahead and multiply this one by a -5. So this now becomes 71 times -5. Let's see whatever that is. And then you're going to do, this one stays exactly the same. I'm going to set up my equations and solve. So here you get 3a eliminated equals 84 divided by 3. A equals 28. 28 what? Adults. Okay, there's a total of 71 people. If you had 28 adults, how many children do you have? So 71 minus 28. So children equals 43. But you could also solve it. So most of you would just think about it, but we'll just go. So 28 minus 28. So 43 children. Okay, all right. Should I leave it for a little bit longer? Make sure you guys have all that. And you would answer it in a word. The question says, how many children, how many adults were there? There were 28 children and 28 adults and 43 children. All right, this next one you guys are going to like. These are fast. Given the graph of the system, determine the number of solutions. This has no solutions because the lines don't intersect. This is infinite solutions, and this is one solution. All right, the transformation, how did this change? All right, so here's this one, and it looks like it rotated. So that's a rotation. What's this one? It looked like it was mirror image, so it is a reflection. Almost done. Yay. Okay, so what is this one? This transformed. How'd they? Oh, they just took this one and just shifted it. So that is called a translation. Consider the following diagram. They took the original image, ABC, and they transformed it into the new one. So that is called a dilation. When you make something bigger or smaller, it's called a dilation. What is the integer closest to 31 over 7? Well, 31 over 7, how many times does 7 go into 31? You have to figure that out. So 7 goes into 31 4 times. So 4 times 7 is 28, 29, 30, 31. So 3/7. What is the integer? Integer is a whole number. Like 0, 1, 2, 3 can also be negative. -1, negative and positive whole number. So is it closer to 4 or closer to 5? Yeah, probably closer to 4. Okay. Pat drove 147 miles on a trip. At the beginning of the trip, the car mileage was 3,835. What was the mileage of the car, not the cat, at the beginning of Pat's trip? So, oh, at the end. Okay, so this was the end of the mileage. This was at the beginning, or this was how much the trip was. Can't talk, but ending mileage, that's how far she drove. What was it at the beginning? How would you find that out? Yeah, just subtract the 2. So 3 minus 147, whatever that is. And sometimes multiple choice. Okay, so you know what can be A anyways because that's more. So it'd have to be one of those. Next one. This one can be a little bit, it says the temperature at noon of each 5 successive days, successive days is like one right after another, is plotted on the graph shown to the right. Which day had the greatest increase in noon temperature from the previous day? So which day had the greatest increase? So where did it increase? So from here it increased. This day was not as hot as this day. Increased. But which one had the greatest? So the correct answer is actually Tuesday. All right, that's it. Okay, study all of these questions and make sure that you are ready for your final.